guidance, their compassion, and their encouragement and inspiration that they have been given me all along this path. My koti koti pranams to them. So, a small prayer to the Lord Ganesha. Havamahe kavi kavi nāmupamashravastamam jeshvarajam brahmana ya kuntendu tusharahāradhavaya ya shuddhavastamandikara ya svetapadmasana ya brahmachyuta shankara pravyadurihe devai sada vandita. Step which we want to come out of is this particular cycles of birth and death, and that is what we call as moksha. Now, if you see what I have shown it for an insect as well as I have shown it for a human being. If you have followed one of the four paths, then you enter into moksha. Now, why are we trying to, what is the main goal of moksha? That for that what you have to do is detachment of your, all the bondages that are binding your soul. Your soul is getting bounded by bondages, ashta bandhana which we call. And we have to come out of those bondages. And that is done by a yoga of the body, the mind and the soul. All three of them have to be united towards the divine, the Paramatma. When you see that union, you enter into. The Raja Yoga is a path where you are mentally disciplining yourself and you understand what is the real self which is inside you. The next one is the Jnana Yoga, where you are trying to get the spiritual knowledge. What is the relationship with Jnana Yoga? And the next one is the Karma Yoga, where you are doing a duty without any selfish things. You are not doing it for yourself or for your family. You are doing a selfless service. You are doing a selfless karma. And Bhakti Yoga is completely emotions. You are showing your emotions, your bhakti, everything in your words, your deeds, and your actions. And if you do this, and all the four paths are not separate, they have to be interlinked. Like you have different strands of the threads are being tied like a big rope. So all the four are interlinked. You need the action, you need the knowledge, you need your mental discipline is required, and also the internal feeling of devotion coming from inside. All four have to be there together to achieve this goal of moksha. The first one, it's not moving. Brahmins who are supposed to do the preaching, the rituals and other things. Whereas from the hands, he creates the Kshatriyas who are supposed to protect the creation, and they are to be away from the sensual pleasures. And from his thighs, he creates the Vaishya, the above three castes without any malice in their minds. So this is the caste system of the Varna system. And when you say the ashrama, the moment you are born, you cannot start protecting somebody or you cannot start teaching and preaching. So you have the ashramas where the person who is born, he enters into a Gurukula, he is a student, and that is the Brahmacharya. Then you have the Grahastha who is supposed to keep a family, look after the family, and also give to the creation of the universe by producing children. Then he enters by trying to detach himself from the other bondages which are coming. Slowly he tries to detach and goes into the Varnashrama, and then, the Vanaprastha. And the last is the one when he becomes a sannyasi, where he completely renounces everything and he forgets everything. All around him, nothing he can see, he only is within himself and the God. And that is a mental state of bliss. It is Sat-Chit Ananda state where it is achieved. And that state will take you to the divine. That is the state where you are entering into the divine field. Now, Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, he says, the desires, when you are doing all this, the desires have merged into the divine and it leads into moksha. He says when a person is devoted to his own duty and he attains perfection, and that is the highest thing. And he says then that person starts feeling that all the things which you are doing is being done by the Absolute, that is by God. You are not doing any action. It is the absolute which is doing the action. And whatever the actions are doing, you are doing it in the form that the absolute is doing, is again going back to the absolute. It is a gift of the absolute. So he says, he instructs Arjuna, you do your Kshatriya Dharma. You don't worry about who's there in front of you. You are doing your Kshatriya Dharma. And he gives the example of Janaka Maharishi, who was a king. He was doing all the duties of a king also. But at the same time, he had attained Rishigud. He was called as a Raja Rishi. So he gives the example there of Janaka Maharishi. And this consciousness, when it comes into a person, it leads to liberation from yourself. Otherwise, what we are doing is we are trying to do everything for ourselves or for our family or for somebody who is known to us. That self should go away. Then there's the Jnana Yoga. This is the path which is of knowledge, and it is the shortest and the most difficult path. Because it is using your mind will take you in one direction, the body will say do this, it will take you in another direction. So you are trying to merge them together to go into one particular direction. And also, what will happen is, it is the Upanishad call this as the razor's edge. Why? Because at every step your ego is going to try to knock you out. Why should I bend down before him? The Upanishad says, you have to bow down even whether it is a cow or whether it is a chandala. You have to bow down to everybody. You don't have to, you are not supposed to try to find differentiation between them. You have to feel that they are all one Jivatmas. So this ego, when it comes in between, it will try to knock you off. Come away from the ego. The enlightenment is, how do you get the enlightenment in Jnana Yoga? You are trying to discriminate, is this real or is this not real? Or is this true or this is not true? And how are you doing it? You are trying to study by yourself. You are trying to inquire by yourself. And for this, you have to deny the existence of the body and start seeing the spirit within inside you. And Shankaracharya, he expounded this part of knowledge. He was the one who preaches the Mayavada. He says it is the ignorance which is inside, the Maya which is inside, which is completely clouding, and you are not able to see what is the self-effulgent soul that is inside you. And Ramana Maharishi was asked a question, and when the person asks him a question, he says, you first tell me who's asking this question. Is it the body asking the question? Is it the soul asking the question? Or is it the mind asking the question? When you get an answer for this, all the questions will vanish. Just like you are having a stick which is kindling the funeral pyre to make the complete sticks get burned, that stick also gets burnt in the end. Similarly, when you get an answer for this question as to who is asking this question, all questions will vanish and you will see the Jiva, Paramatma inside you. And by meditation, mantras, it's a volatile mind. You know, the mind keeps jumping from place to place. And Patanjali Maharishi had mastered this. You have to be pure in your actions, you have to be devoted, you have to be studying. These are 5 steps again. There is the asanas. Why the asanas are included here? Because if a wrong posture is there, you will get pain, and that pain will not allow you to concentrate. Then the next one is pranayama. The breathing should flow completely freely. If it gets blocked, you will have all the other amas coming inside, and obviously you will not be able to concentrate again. So there is pranayama coming. The next one, which is going to disturb your mind, is all your senses. You are hearing the song, you are eating something. All these perceptions which are coming to the mind will disturb you. So that is pratyahara. You are withdrawing your senses from the outside to the inside. You are completely trying to block them. The next one is the dharana. You are concentrating. Now you have to start concentrating. You have taken out all the other disturbances from outside. Now you start concentrating. And then the next step is your dhyana. Once you are concentrated, you are focused, you are now trying to go into the divine path. And the last is the samadhi, which is the complete bliss of everything. So he says that this particular thing, Swami Shivananda, he says, it is a state of bliss where your mind doesn't know what is going around you. It is in a state of ecstasy. And this is what we call in Saundara Lahari, the Adi Shankara said as Satchit Ananda Lahari. He says waves of Ananda are coming inside you. The Bhakti Yoga is the path of devotion. It is a devotion to the ultimate. It is the pinnacle of all the paths. All the paths are merging here. Hanumān was an example of this because he had all the paths coming in him. All of them were merging in him. He was a very great devotee. And Shiva Mahapurana says it is root of true knowledge, Vijnana. And the word is derived from the word bhaj, which means you are attached to God. Now, what is devotion here or what is bhakti? It is love for love's sake. So, you are loving the God only for the sake of loving God. You are not having any selfish expectations. You are not having any ego coming in between. You are not having desires. And you are not also having any fear. Oh, if I don't do this, the God will come and take away my eyes, He will take away my ears or something like that. You are not having any type of fear. You are only trying to do just for pleasing God and trying to see the God inside you. So that, there's a song of Fleetwood Mac which says, drowning in the ocean of love, where everyone would love to drown. So the devotee feels that his Ishta is the ocean of love and he himself is drowning in that particular sea. So when you do this, it is called as Param Prema Rupa because it is completely a pure thread of love where it binds you to the Lord's feet. And there you are able to see Shuddha Prema, where it is selfless love and it is leading you to the divine. And this thread is right from your creation. Everything we are not able to see. We are having ignorance and we are seeing sufferings. Oh my doggy is not well, my cat is not well. You are looking into all those things. So you are not concentrating. So this particular thread you are not able to see. But you cannot break asking for what is the joy that I am not happy by working, I am not happy by doing this. What is the real joy that I want? That comes only because of this thread of love. And bhakti means your love with love itself. So in Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan says, if a person is having their minds on me and they are very steadfast in their worship and they have to have supreme faith, this word is very important, supreme faith, then you are going to have perfect yoga with the Lord. Now Krishna says, foolish are not looking beyond that physical body. He said, I am a devotee and that is Krishna. So you are seeing two bodies, you are not seeing the Paramatma as the soul and this a part of the soul is in you. You are not seeing that. So therefore, the soul, people who realize it, they are worshipping me with a single pointed mind. And to them, let them offer me anything to me. Let them offer food to me, let them offer their sufferings to me. I will take all that and I will release them from all the bondages. Then what else do you want? So you offer everything to him. That is why in all our prayers, we say, Kayena vacha manasendriyatva buddhyatmana va prakrite svabhavat karomi yatsat sagalam parasmai Srimad Narayanayati samarpayami. You put everything to Narayana, he will take it and he will free you from all the bondages. And one last thing is, as I told you, the faith is there, is very important. When you have a faith in a person, you get attracted to this person. We all have faith in our Guruji, whatever he says, and we are attracted to him. Slowly we start adoring him, and that leads into worship, and that bondage starts strengthening. The same is with your Paramatma also. And he says, I'm not in the hearts of any particular, I'm not staying in my name also with true devotion. That is where he stays. Now, there are different forms of bhakti. We are not going into the details. There is only different classifications we are saying. So, the desires are not ending at all. So, that is Sakamya Bhakti. But Nishkamya Bhakti means you don't have any desire. So, you are coming above the gunas and you start communicating with the God. And therefore, in the end, you are able to enjoy the Aishwaryas given by the God, Paramatma. And also, you are able to see manifestations of the Lord. Prahlada was able to see Narasimha. That was the manifestation. His devotion brought Narasimha in front of him. He was able to see Lord Narasimha. Apara Bhakti means you are following these ceremonies and rituals, but you are also having it personified. This is a very good Bhakti. But the only negative aspect is, if a Shiva Bhakta is there, he will say, I don't like a Vishnu Bhakta. That priority, that's why it is called low in priority. Whereas if you see the Para Bhakti, that is the highest form of Bhakti, but it can't come without Apara Bhakti. First you have to and then come to Parabhakti. And it's more or less like jnana. So you are having a single-minded devotion, you are not having any expectations, no friends, no enemies, because you are not having any expectations. You have expectations, but oh, he didn't do this, I don't like him. So you take him as an enemy. So that enemy is not there, you are completely the same, whether it is a pleasure or whether it's a pain is there. You are completely composed in all the things. So this is the highest point, like Tulsidas ji, Hanumān, all of them had this type of bhakti. Gauna Bhakti, devotion is secondary. Let me finish all my work. And God may देखेंगे मंदिर हो सकता है तो जाएंगे, otherwise no. That is the type of the Gauna Bhakti. Whereas Mukhya Bhakti says, devotion is the only thing which is important for me. The rest is all second. Coming to Ragatmika Bhakti, they say it is bounded by the customs and the rituals of the society. Meenabai was there. She did not mind it at all. It is not bounded at all. This particular Bhakti is not bounded by the rituals and of the society. So Meena was not, she was dancing even though she was a queen. She was dancing among the sons. Whereas in Vaidhi Bhakti, it is bounded by the custom, society and rituals. Vyabhacharini Bhakti, I love God for some time. 5 to 6 is okay, my puja time is done. After that, I'm going to look at other things. I won't think of God. And Avyabhacharini Bhakti will make you think of God all the time. Sattvic Bhakti is only to please God. Rajasic Bhakti, you all know what Rajas is trying to ask for something. All these are desires are all Rajasic. So therefore, you are asking for material benefits. And Tamasic Bhakti, you get success if you want to do by deceit. Like a thief is asking, I want to steal a bank, please help me God. That is Tamasic Bhakti. That is our classification. Aveda and Samarasa Bhakti, both are very high stages of devotion. In the first one, you see that you are feeling that God is inside you. So you start worshipping, Aham Brahmosmi, Aham Shivam, all those things, start worshipping yourself. Whereas in Samarasa Bhakti, you see all the gods are all alike. Whether it is Shiva, or whether it is Rama, or whether it is Krishna, all gods are alike for me. And Ananya Bhakti, Lord is seen in all forms. Like you have a golden ring or your golden chain, or everything is made of gold. So whether it is God is Krishna or whatever it is, everything, He is in every form. Whether it is a Chandala, He is in that form also. Whether it is a cow, He is in that form also. All forms are forms of God. That is what Ananya Bhakti says. So there are certain doubts which people have raised. Ananya, Para and Avyabhacharini Bhakti, are they the same? I leave this for you all to think amongst yourselves. The enemy of devotion. What is the enemy of devotion? We are now speaking of Bhakti, so devotion is there. So the main enemies are ego and desire. These lead to negative things like anger, lust, greed. And Lord will manifest where desire is absent, where there is Rama. The next one is the Bhavas in Bhakti. Now you are having devotion and this causes you to forget yourself. When you try to start thinking of one person always, you forget yourself in that. And that is called as the Bhava. And this Bhava is making a relationship between Bhava. Now, the devotee now starts feeling himself in everything in the Lord only. Okay, I'm seeing Lord here, I'm seeing Lord there. He's seeing Lord in everything. And that is called as Param Prema or supreme love or consummation of love. Now, there are 5 kinds of Bhavas which have been described in many of the texts. Now, the Shanta Bhava is peaceful. That person, devotee, is not singing, he is not dancing, and but his heart is filled with love to the God. Example, Bhishma was Shanta Bhava. Dasya Bhava is Hanumān ji, where he was completely wanting to serve the Lord. And he had no expectations from the Lord, and that was Hanumān. Whereas Satya Bhava is a friendship to the Lord. Like Arjuna had this, he was sitting with Lord Krishna, he was eating with Lord Krishna, he was moving with Lord Krishna, he had that friendship with Krishna. Whereas the Vatsalya is a nurturing attitude. This was there with Yashoda. She did not have to fear, because why will a mother fear a child? She was loving him, she was caring for him. So that is the Vatsalya Bhava. But Madhurya Bhava is the highest, which is being seen where it is Atma Samarpana. You have completely given yourself. So even if you are with the Lord or if you are not with the Lord, it is always the highest. Because there is oneness in separation and separation in oneness. You are not selfish. Radhika had this power. Radhika, and she loved Krishna with all her heart, but she allowed him to separate and go to Kamsa's place to do his duties. That is the highest bhava in your amongst the bhavas. Now, what is the problem is, people are, when you say Radhika, people are taking it in a wrong sense. They take it, when I say she's loving Krishna, that is taken in a wrong sense, because the earthly passions are there. Your ego is there, your selfishness is there. That is Rajasic love. But Radhika did not have Rajasic love. She did not have any selfishness. So the lust and the kama which is being referred by the earthly passions is different from the divine love that Radhika had for Krishna. So that love is the love that Hanumān had to even Lord Rama. So that love is the highest form of the love. Mentioned in Bhagavad Gita by Lord Krishna. Numerous she has put a number of people can see this like that. Types of bhaktas. Now, Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita, he says there are 4 types of bhaktas mainly. What are they? Artha, Jigyasu, Jnani, then Artharthi. Right? Now, what is Artha? Artha means a person who is suffering, is having some type of a problem. I want to be saved from this. Draupadi was de-robed in the Kaurava Sabha. She wanted help and she asked Krishna. That is called, she is also Bhakta of Krishna, but she asked him for help to free from a suffering. That is Artha Bhakta. Gajendra, yesterday Guruji was speaking about Gajendra. So Gajendra was caught by a crocodile. He wanted to get himself freed. So therefore he calls the Vishnu as Adi Moolame. You are the start of the creation, the root of the creation. Please come and help me. So that is Artha Bhakta. Whereas the Jigyasu, he wants knowledge. There are 2 types of seekers of knowledge here. When you see Jigyasu is a seeker of knowledge who wants moksha. So he has one desire attached to him. So that is, for example, you are having Uddhava. He asked Krishna, I want to be freed from the cycles of birth and death. Please free me away. And that was the Jigyasu. Whereas Artharthi is one who wants something. He has some particular power, wealth, something he wants. Artha, we all wants Jyotishis. So therefore they want something. For example, Dhruva wanted his kingdom and Sugriva wanted his kingdom back. All these are called as Artharthis. Whereas Jnani is the one who is a true seeker of knowledge. He wants to know the Paramatma inside him completely and totally. Examples, Sukha Maharishi, Hanumān, these are all examples of Jnanis. There is one more classification which has been given by some of the books, which says Vaira Bhakta or Ninda Bhakta. They are not really devoted to the Paramatma, but because they have that negative feeling in them, anger in them against the Lord. So, but in that particular condition, they start keeping on thinking of the Lord. They will say, for example, if you ask, see Hiranyakashipu, he says, is Vishnu there, is Vishnu there, is Vishnu there? He has asked in every place, is Vishnu there? So, but by that he has repeated the name of Vishnu so many times. So, God has given him also moksha by killing him. So, that is the Vaira Bhakta or the Ninda Bhakta. Now, we have come to the real part of the presentation, the roots of the Bhakti Yoga. We can see it in Sveteshwara Upanishad, where it says it is only. This slide we are not doing, but I'll just put it in front of you. The detachment, what is real devotion is you have to detach yourself from all the objects, and you, in the end, you get vairagya and a true love for God. And as I told you already, bhakti. All the 9 practices I have explained as an annexure in this particular presentation, and the last for you all to see for yourself, because if I start explaining it, 1 hour is not sufficient. But if you see, I have not put the examples names as the pictures here. I put Hanumān slides everywhere. All the 8, out of the 9, Hanumān was participation in all the 8 practices. He did Smarana, Shravana, Kirtana, Padasevana, Archana, Vandana, Dasya and Atmanivedana. The only thing he didn't do was Sakya. He was not treating Lord as a friend. He treated Lord as his master. Now, this is we all know he is Cancer Lagna. You have Jupiter and Moon in beautiful. We see that the Jupiter is aspecting Mars and Moon is also aspecting Mars. This is called as a Drishti Sambandha, or will fructify right from the birth. But whereas if you see, the Drishti Sambandha will fructify only later part of life. Why Drishti is supposed to be the desire of the planet. So only when the particular meeting of that people take place, then only that gets activated. So therefore, Jupiter is representing Sri Rama. Mars, exalted Mars in the 7th house is representing Lord Hanumān. So a weak Sambandha fructifies when they meet in Kishkinda. Till then he did not know this is Lord Rama. It is his Lord. Only the moment he met, he was able to recollect who he was. So now, 7th house, we all know Guruji has been continuously saying it is Dwara, it is the Vaha, the life journey. And Hanumān is guarding the door of Sri Rama. So Goswami Tulsidas beautifully says, Ram Dware Tum Rakhware, Hot na Agya Pe Din Paisare. Without the permission of Hanumān and without true bhakti, you cannot enter the heart of Sri Rama. That is what is being told by Goswami Tulsidas. Now, before people look at the chart and try to raise a question, I am telling you right in front that this is a chart which was given to me by one of my friends. If he said, why do you want the chart of Hanumān? You are going to do Hanumān Bhakti. So, all that you need is his Janma Nakshatra and Amavasya means obviously Sun is also there. So, Sun and Moon are both together in Sagittarius. This is what we are going to go upon. The rest of the chart I am not looking into. Because till we get an authenticated chart and this is approved by my Guruji or our Guruji, I am not accepting anything else. Now, Pandit Guruji has said that Hanumān has been born in Margashira in Amavasya Tithi in Mula Nakshatra. Now, Janma Nakshatra is supposed to do with your life forces, the prana. So that means the father has introduced his prana into the child, right? Now, what is Mula? Mula means root, right? Now, it is everything basic in nature for any particular plant, which we are saying root means it's for anything it is basic in nature. Now, what is the main thing of a plant? The root has to go deep into the soil and it has to absorb water to give it to the plant. The next function for it is to anchor it to the soil. So, when the root has to go deep inside, that means it can get obstacles in between, the stones are coming in between, so it can take a turn or it can grow branches. So, people with this nakshatra have a capacity to overcome obstacles. We know the number of obstacles that Lord Hanumān faced when he had to go to find Sita. But he had the capacity to overcome all of them. And he is focused. Why they are focused? Because the plant roots are focused. They are going deep into the soil. They have to go deep in to get water. Similarly, people with this particular nakshatra are highly focused in their work. Now, it also makes a person spiritual. Here, why is it making a person spiritual? Because it is lorded by the Graha Ketu. Ketu is a moksha karaka and it is also an Agni planet. Now, we know because of the being a moksha karaka, it can give you spirituality, right? Now, there's one point here in this Mula Nakshatra. See, Mula Nakshatra has different qualities. It has a negative quality, it has positive qualities. We will be discussing this in the next slide. But just remember this one thing, it is lorded by Ketu as an Agni planet and it is in an Agni Rashi. Mula Nakshatra is in an Agni Rashi. So, these two things are very important when we are going to describe in the next slide. Now, in Sagittarius, it is the first nakshatra. And the symbol of Sagittarius we know is a bow. And Moon is there. So any arrows which are released from there will go and hit their target. So Hanumān had the capacity to achieve whatever he wanted. This is what is being told there. Now, some books have said that Ravana was also born in Mula Nakshatra. But then why was he different from Hanumān? Why did he not like Lord Rama? That we will see in the next slide. But Amavasya Tithi I am just bringing here because Amavasya means sun is the soul and moon is your mind. So when there is a combination of the soul and the mind going measures. So you are entering into a spiritual path. You know, had supreme knowledge, I have already told you, because it is lauded by Jupiter and Ketu and everything. So, and it is the Lord is Ganesha for Ketu, so in high embodiment of knowledge. So Hanumān had very high knowledge. He had high bhakti. He was there because of that nakshatra. Now, when you see Ravana, he also had very high knowledge. The knowledge of the scriptures was the highest. And the music, he could play music and it could simply melt the mountains down. And what strategies, there was none to beat Ravana. So he was also a great bhakta of Lord Shiva. So you see that Mula Nakshatra quality was coming in him. But what was that prevented him from reaching the Lord? That was the I inside him. He had high arrogance. That self was very high in him. So that was the gift of the nakshatra, is the knowledge and the bhakti for Ravana. But the negative aspect of this arrogance nullified all the good qualities which was there, and he entered into a Vairi Bhakti with Lord Rama. And you see, I told you the negative aspect of Mula Nakshatra is there even in Hanumanji. Now, what is the negative aspect? I told you about the Agni Rashi and that this thing Ketu being an Agni planet. So this particular thing is having a very high Shakti, which is called as a Varhana Shakti. This Varhana Shakti can destroy anything. And that was what he did when he set fire to the Lanka completely. It is a negative quality, but the negative quality was a positive for the mankind. So that he did not do it for his benefit, he did it for the benefit of the mankind, to terminate the Rakshasas. So that is one negative quality of the Nakshatra. The other negative quality we know is Ketu. Ketu will always give confusion. I have to cross the ocean, he was filled, can he cross it, can he not cross it, he was completely in a confusion. Similarly, when he put fire to Lanka, he did not think of a moment, Sita Mata is there. I have set fire to Lanka. Afterwards he is thinking, oh my God, is Sita safe or not? So that is the negative aspect of Ketu, right? That confusion. But he had that ego was not there, the arrogance was not there. So in spite of difficulties, he is able to overcome all the difficulties of that particular nakshatra and try to reach heights. One last point. Ramakrishna Paramahamsa says that as long as the I is there inside you, you cannot get moksha at all. That was what happened to Lord Narada. Narada was inside the temple of Shiva, the cave of Shiva, and he said, I have conquered the Kama, that I came in him. And Shiva wanted to teach him a lesson, and therefore yesterday Guruji has given us that story, so I am not repeating the story, how he was made a curse and Ramayana was born. That was the I which made, the I, even Narada could not come out of that I. So that I, as long as it is there, we cannot see God truly. Now, therefore, a very high in the Bhakti Yoga. And how is he using all this? The Ashtasiddhis which he had, he did not use for himself at all. He only used it for the service of Lord Rama. Next. This is just. Now we are in Kishkinda Kanda. I will be jumping through Kandas very fast. Now, Hanumān, he had to meet Rama. And he discusses, and if he goes and speaks Sanskrit in front of them, they will either panic or they will be astonished. So that's why he did not take the form of monkey and he took a Hasidic form. But when he goes to the God, Lord, he finds that he has some positive vibrations. Here also when we meet people, some people we are very attracted to. We feel we know them for a very long time, we like them so much. That is the personality of that person. And there are some people we don't like at all just by seeing at all. So that aura which is there is the personality of that person which has created that aura. That's a magnetic force which either attracts you to the person. So he had this positive vibes. And the moment he sees Sri Rama, that vibes make him fall at his feet and catch his thing. When Rama speaks what he is, who he is, he says, then he immediately recognizes, Lord, I am just a monkey. I didn't recognize you, but you are a Lord. And though you are in the form of a mortal, but why are you speaking like a mortal to me? You should have recognized me. How did you not recognize me? And you are asking me, who are you? You have asked me this question. So he says, I have been under your Maya continuously, and this is why I have not that were the different qualities of Rama. And Bhagavan Ramanujacharya, he says, Asankhya Kalyana Guna. Asankhya means infinite, you can't count the number of gunas which he is having. So, this gunas have created a magnetic force around the Lord. And if Goswami Tulsidas says, if common people can get attracted to the Lord, why will not Hanumān ji get attracted to the Lord? And yesterday we have also seen how he is the Amsha of the Lord itself, a part of the Lord. Even Hanumān couldn't understand why his body is becoming light. And there's an example which is given. It says a seesaw. We all have played seesaw. So, when the body is becoming light, devotion and bhakti to the Lord, that started becoming higher and higher and higher. So, this was what Kamba Ramayana says in the chapter Kishkinda Kanda 2 and the shloka number I have given there. Why is he attracted to Rama? There's another explanation. He was, Hanumān is an Amsha avatar of Rudra, is Shiva. Rudra is an Amsha avatar and he is a Rudra avatar in the Goloka. So, in the Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan is saying, Vaishnava Maham Shambhu, among the Vaishnava Bhaktas, I am Shiva. And Shiva Mahapuran says, Vishnu is in Shiva's heart, and Shiva is in Vishnu's heart. So if they are avatars of Vishnu and Shiva, obviously they will be having bhakti or love to each other. This is the ample proof which has been given in Rudra Samhita of Shiva Mahapurana. Now this slide, see, I told you all the 4 yogas are going together. The jnana which Hanumān had was so high that he is able to, he just spoke 6 lines of the 3 lines which I have already mentioned about. These 3 lines are very, very important and they show the Rig Veda, the Yajur Veda and the Sama Veda. And Rama says, only a person who knows all the 3 Vedas, all these 3 who are very masters of these 3, can speak such a particular language to me. So, he says this person who has taken this work will always be successful. But I am escaping the slide. I will give you all the details of the slide later. To Sita, she will be able to recognize you. You get something, Guruji is giving you something. What will we do? We'll just take it in the hand. Thank you, Guruji. That's all. But what does Lord Hanumān do? He takes it in his hand, places it in his head, and goes down, touches the feet of Rama, like a prasad. So for him, anything from Rama is a prasad, is a boon for him. This is one another thing where bhakti has been shown by him. I have explained this earlier itself, how he gets confused for crossing the ocean, where Jambavan had told him his divine qualities. What are your divine qualities? He required a person to remind him of the qualities, and then he flies. The moment he is reminded, he uses his Ashtasiddhi, and he. So the faith for Rama, it keeps deepening as he goes inside and goes across the ocean. Now when he is searching for the mother, he says, I have searched all the places. He goes to Lanka, he is searching for her, and he says, I have searched all the entire Ravana's palace. But I am not able to see her. So he goes into depression. Maybe something has happened to her. And then he says, if I go back without her, immediately everybody who are concerned with Sita will all die. He puts the monkeys, everybody, he puts a big list of the people and all of them are going to die. Then what he does, again, like a child, if you see a child who's there in the house, it will always see whether the mother and father are there, they'll go touch him and come back. Okay, or we have to see the mother and the father. For him, Rama was like a father. So, every time when he feels some problem, he'll immediately think of Rama and come back. So, he thinks of Rama, he salutes everybody there, and even Sugriva and all the elders with whom he knows, and he goes to the forest, Ashokavana. There, what he sees, there are so many trees, but he is only attracted to this Inshpa Raksha. Why is he attracted to that? Here, Parasara Bhatta is saying that Lakshmi is the one who, with her eyes, can bless the entire world. She can protect the entire world. Even a small glance, the grace flowing from her eyes, that is, she can protect the entire world. It is called Kataksha Leela. Kataksha is the grace coming out of her eyes. If she can do it only with her eyes, the end of her eyes she can do. She is verily present under the tree. If she is sitting under the tree, why will she not attract Hanumān? So that is why Hanumān was attracted to that Sanchipa Vriksha. Now what he does, because still he has not seen her, so she is sitting there. So he immediately, again as I said, he starts praying to the Lord. But here the prayer is becoming different. Now he says, Namostu Ramaya cha Lakshmanaya Devyescha. Now this particular word Janakatmajaya is very important. Now you know what happens in the house if the child is not, not remembering or not done what the mother wants. The mother will simply keep quiet. She will not do anything else. She will simply keep quiet. And then the child will say, Mama. Earlier when he left for Lanka, he prayed only to Rama and Surya. He did not pray to Sita. She wanted to remind him of that. And he now prays to her. When he prays to her, immediately the same moment when he looks down, he is able to see Sita sitting under the tree on which he was sitting. Till then he was not able to see Sita. That is the quality of the mother. Now, what happens is, now with this, now he gives salutations to Sita also, and now he says, now what is the work given by Lord Rama? Find Sita. He has not seen Sita before. So he has to know whether Sita, is this Sita 100%? This is Sita. Otherwise you can't simply take some lady and say this is Sita and go away. So now he's seeing her. He sees that she's having, she's very not clean in her body. She's full of dust, she's emaciated with her fasting and other things. Now he says this lady seems to be Sita because she has the looks which I feel is divine. So the logic has given him that this is Sita. But how to get the pramana? Now he remembers Sri Sukta. Sri Sukta says, Hiranyavarnam Harinim Swarna Rajastajam Chandram Hiranmayim Lakshmim Jataveto Ma'avaha. It says Lakshmi is the only one in the entire universe who has a golden complexion. She is the avatar of Lakshmi. She had the same golden complexion. She had the same lotus eyes. Everything was matching what was described in the Sri Sukta. Now he's got a pramana that because he knows that Rama is Vishnu avatar. So obviously she will be Lakshmi avatar and she's exactly looking like Lakshmi. So he is now satisfied. Yes, this is, I am not making a mistake. When I go to Rama, I can say 100% that this is Sita. Now he has to convince Sita. Now again the same problem of speaking in Sanskrit will come. So what he does, he says that he drops the ring. Goswami Tulsidas, there's a difference here with Valmiki Ramayana and Goswami Tulsidas. Ramayana does not say that he immediately drops the ring. But here in Goswami Tulsidas Ramayana it says he drops the ring, and after that he starts singing the name of Lord Rama. He starts singing the entire story of Rama. He describes it right from the beginning to the end. Now here what he does is when he starts eulogizing Rama, Ram, 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 he keeps singing about all his, whatever, where he was born, what all he did, how he got married to Sita, and all the other stories. Now in the end he concludes saying, this Sita has been found by me according to the same calmness, according to the complexion and the body marks that I heard from Rama. The same thing what my Lord told me, I am able to see in her. So when he says this, Sita has now become happy and she sees up. And the moment she sees up, Goswami Tulsidas, all the Ashtasiddhis and Navanidhis are running to his feet. That is why he brings Ashtasiddhi Navanidhi Ke Data. That's how he brings it. Sadasiva Brahmendra Bharati describes this scene. He says, it is Astu, Hanumān is saying, Pibare Rama Rasam, Rasane Pibare Rama Rasam. You start drinking the nectar of Rama and you hear me singing the nectar of Rama. Sri Rama. Again the same thing, he keeps it, he worships it, and he feels as though he has caught the Mata's feet. And with that he says, he again goes back to thinking of Rama. Every now and then he has to think of Rama and come back. That is always done. Like the child will be playing, go touch the mother and come back and start So that he will always be doing. Now Sita blesses him to be a Chiranjeevi. And this Chiranjeevi, what does it mean? You are having immortality. Now Sita has blessed first. Rama gives that boon later. Sita has already blessed Chiranjeevi. Chiranjeevi means you will be immortal, you will always be there here on the earth. That means you will be having the Lord's grace. As long as the Lord's grace is there, you are going to be there. That is what Chiranjeevi means here. And she also says that you will have immense strength, you will have virtue, and you will be immune from death. Hanumān is not dying at all, he is always there. Next part, when he goes back to Rama, he has to explain what was Lanka and all those things. So he burns Lanka, and at that point he thinks, why is my tail not burning? Then he says, no, it is because of the grace of Rama, it is because of the blessings of Mata Sita, and because my father also, being God, is favoring me. So therefore, my tail is not burning. And suddenly he says, oh my God, well, Sita is in this particular place, what will happen? And he says, no, she herself is by her chastity, she is effulgent. How can one fire burn another fire? So therefore, that fire will not burn her. But still, because we have small doubt, to clear the doubt, he goes to see whether she is safe or not. Now he comes. Nobody on this earth could have done this. It is only you who have done this. Neither, in the next slide you will see, it says, neither Muni, neither Deva, nor a Manusha, none on this earth could have done this. It is only who we have done. But I am so helpless, I am not able to give you anything in return. And therefore what he does, he clasps him in his hands. And this, he says, Hanumān feels that as though he has attained Janma Sampalya. Why? He feels that if the Lord is going to give me an embrace like this again and again and again, I will surely do any number of services to him. See, any student or any devotee only wants that particular applaud from the Lord or from the Guru. Now say you are doing something and Guruji praises you, will immediately feel that Guruji has praised me. But there is one difference in Hanumanji. In the next shloka, he says, Goswami Tulsidas says that please save me from the tentacles of egoism. But he says, please Lord, save me from the tentacles of egoism. I don't want to be egoistic. I don't want to have that arrogance coming up in me. This is what the Goswami Tulsidas says about Hanuman's Bhakti real order. Now Rama lifts him and he asks him, how did you enter into this impregnable fort of Ravana? He says, what is not possible? I am just a monkey. I can only jump one tree to another tree. It is your grace which made me jump across the ocean. And it is your grace. Even one single thread can burn a huge submarine. When that can do, I am your servant. Will I not be able to burn Lanka and come? Will I not be able to go to Lanka and come? Your grace can achieve anything in this world. That's what he said. This is again another direction of his bhakti. And Narayana Bhattadri says, he went as a messenger of Rama. When he went to Sita, he says, I am Ramaduta. But after seeing the Mata, she is the one who has changed him. He goes to Ravana, he says, Dasoham Kaushalendraya. There comes the Dasa word. Earlier it was that little bit of that aham was there. That goes after seeing the mother. The mother knows how to change her children. So it was a selfless mission and it was a matchless reward. The reward was the embrace of the Lord. Now, we are come to the end there. The people are taking leave from after the coronation of Lord Rama. And he says to the Lord Rama, what do you want? Not be perturbed, you should not be disturbed by anything. And as long as this word is there, your name should be, your katha or your nama should be there on this earth. And whenever I feel anxious, I should be able to hear this and get relief from my anxiety. Who's going to ask this? It's a true bhakta who will ask this. And Rama says, yes, I grant you this boon. He says, you have done so many services. Out of the services, even for one service, I cannot pay back the debt to you. The Lord is saying this to Hanumān. Then you can imagine what his devotion is. So, therefore, he says, when Rama proceeds to Vaikuntha, he says, are you ready to come to me? Come with me to Vaikuntha? Immediately Hanuman says, is Rama there? Is Rama Nama there? No. Once I enter into the river, my body will go away. This avatar is finished. There you will see me only as Vishnu. You will not see any Rama Nama or Rama avatar. And he says, no, I am not coming there. I want only Rama here. And he stays back. The eternal devotion, which has been told in one of the books, which is called Rama Raksha Stotra, is being given there. It says, Mato Rama, Ma Pita Ramachandra, Swami Rama, Ma Saka Ramachandra, Sarvasvam me Ramachandra Dayalu, Nanya Jane, Naiva Jane, Na Jane. Mother is Rama, father is Rama, the friend is Rama, everything is Rama for me, and I don't know anything else. That is true devotion. That is the highest bhakti. All others served Rama. Sugriva served Rama, Lakshmana served Rama, Hanumān served Rama. But why do we take Dasya for only Hanumān? Because Sugriva had something in return which he was getting. He was to get his kingdom. Lakshmana was his brother. So therefore, obviously you will be serving your elder brother. You are doing that just as a brother. But whereas for Hanumān, it was a selfless service to his Paramatma or his Lord. And Hanuman's bhakti was dedication and reverence. A true devotee, everything will end only in the ultimate, the end, and supreme divine. That is the ultimate. The last I say this slide, there is one thing which is I couldn't get the original book. The book is with one of a very old person and he is not ready to part with his book. But he only gave me a snapshot and that only I have been able to produce, right? And we have not been able to find this particular shloka in any other places excepting on one or two nets there. But we don't know whether it is authenticated, but this is authenticated because it was the book was with that person. Now, and that person is a 90-year-old person, he was not ready to part at all. I said, okay, leave it. So, now Rama is being asked Hanumān, what is the relationship between us? Hanumān says, if you take my body, I am your servant, because this is one body, that is one body. So there are two bodies, so I am your servant from there. And I am serving the higher self, so that is karma yoga. That is what karma yoga says. You are serving somebody without any expectations, that is the higher yoga. From the standpoint of the soul, I am a part of you. How? Because your flame is in me. It is in that person. It is in that person. So I am your part. Your flame, one ray has come to me. One ray is going there. So I am only your part. So therefore, that is what Bhakti Yoga teaches and that is what Raja Yoga is teaching. Whereas he says from the standpoint of the spirit, you and I are the same because you are the one who has taken my form and you are doing, because Krishna already said it is the absolute which is doing everything. So it is Krishna who is in me. He is doing actions in my rupa. It is Krishna in Lakshmiji's rupa. It is Krishna in Kartikeya's rupa, and everybody is doing Krishna's there. So it is the Lord who is in everybody's body, who is doing the actions. So in spirit, you and I are the same source. So that is what Jnana Yoga teaches. All the Jnanis come to this in the end. So, in the path of devotion, a true devotee who achieves all this, strives harder, is able to attain this particular stage. So, I'm going to end just the last shloka. This is a beautiful shloka which I wrote. And I'm ending this as a prayer to Hanumān. It says about all the 5 tattvas. Aindile Ondru Petran. Aindu means 5. Ondru is 1. Petran means born. So, 1 gave birth to him. That is the wind god. That is Vayu. Aindile Ondrai Tavi. 1, he jumped. Tavi means jumping. So, he jumped one of the 5. That is the water. And Aindile Ondru Aha Arya Kahegi. Aindile Ondru Aha means mixing with 1. He mixed with Akash. Arya means the Lord. To the Supreme Lord. So for the Supreme Lord, he goes in the air to go to Lanka. Aindile Ondru Petra Anangu means one lady who was born out of the one of the 5. She was Mata Sita was born one of the So for her, he goes and sees her where? Ayanar Uril, Ayanar is foreign. He sees her in a foreign place, and there what does he do? He kept one of the five, he put Agni there. All the five tattvas are covered in this particular shloka. So with this, I end my presentation. Thanks to all